Are Centigors with throwing axes any good? I'm actually glad to see someone in the comments pointing out that being one of the best light cavalry units puts Centigors in pretty pitiful company in the grand scheme of things. It's a tough role, and while it has its moments, war is cruel. So, how about this? A variant with armor-piercing throwing axes like the Marauder Horsemen of Khorne. Interested yet? Please like, subscribe, comment, and consider donating to my Ko-fi page. Your support matters a ton, and I am enormously grateful. Centigors with throwing axes are lower HP than the other variants, with 5,880 hit points spread across the same 60 models, with the same 35 armor and same 60 leadership, and the same pretty impressive 84 speed. Unlike the regulars, the throwing axes variant lacks shields, but I'm sure you're not surprised. Melee attack is 22, and while that isn't that high, that's only 2 less than the regulars, with an attack interval of 4.6, which is also no worse, very on par with most cavalry. Splash is at 5 targets max, and it's not the only light cavalry doing this, which is interesting. I didn't actually know that before. Melee defense is 20, which is a marked reduction from the regular version, but hey, that's not the focus of the unit. Interestingly, the weapon strength of the unit is exactly the same as 32, with base damage 25 and armor piercing 7. That's the melee weapon. Charge bonus is 30, which may be less than the 42 of both other variants, but hey, it's really not bad considering. Primal Fury jacks the melee attack up by 5 to 27, and while it's up, it boosts the speed and charge bonus by 10% each, which already makes this a pretty speedy unit. Woodsman lets the unit phase through trees, and this can hide in forest and has Vanguard deployment. Rowdy gives +4 leadership and perfect vigor. So wait, a missile cavalry unit with perfect vigor. That's useful. So yeah, what about those throwing axes? As you might expect, this is a far whilst moving unit. Default ammunition is 14, with a range of 70, base damage 6, armor piercing damage 22 with a reload time of 10 seconds. The throwing axes are reasonably accurate. Where this unit diverges very heavily is in the buffs, because this is the only other unit in the roster that shares buffs with the Ungro Raiders, at least for the early Redlock part. Beast Lord's Spike gives you a max of +12% speed, which is already great, and +20% ammunition, with a reload time reduction of 10%, a blatant increase in your DPS. Mage Hunter goes even further, and gives you at rank 7 +12% missile strength, another 10% reload time reduction, and 15% spell resistance, which certainly doesn't work. The thing is, the techs are purely the ones common to all Centigors. That means more charge bonus, more melee attack, and more melee defense. Now, is that a good thing? Yes, because at some point, you're going to run out of axes. Your only other way of contributing to most battles is to make yourself honorary light melee cavalry and charge in. Make a mess, get out, and charge back in again. So why not be that much better at it? In fact, that's the thing I want you to take from this. The throwing axes have a role and do their job, but you're simply not confined to one thing. You can charge in and rip apart the archer line, and then skim across the backs of the infantry line, tossing axes until the razor gores come home. And once you run out, you take a breather and... Actually, you don't, because you have perfect vigor. You can charge right into the backs of your foes at full freshness, and do whatever damage and morale shocking that you can. This is how you turn Centigors from a feature into an instrument of terror, figuratively at least. Remember, for this kind of unit, speed is armor, and just like I used to do with my Marauder Horsemen of Khorne, if you can't beat them, lure them to forces that can. Those axes hurt, and the camping opponents do not like being hit with them. Weaken them, whittle, and then go in for the kill, or at least make it easier for your Minotaurs to rack up blood greed kills. They appreciate that. Take care, and have fun asking the right questions.